Hi guys, it's me, Hermit in the Forest. It's hard to believe, but it's been 10 years already since I made and uploaded my first unboxing video on YouTube. Let's make a room tour now so you may see more boxes that I have that didn't make it into my YouTube channel. As you may know, I don't just collect vintage PC big boxes, but also physical releases of modern PC titles in case those are of RPG genre, like for example collector's edition of Elden Ring you may see, or signed collector's edition of Wasteland 3. Yeah, also Azure Lane Crosswave, a Japanese style role-playing game, or Expeditions Conquistador, that's a Kickstarter thing. Here is a plushie from Wasteland 3. Right. On top you can see Cyberpunk 2077 and Atomic Edition of Biomutant. Here's some Japanese style role-playing games like Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night, Neptunia, Virtual Stars, and Death End Request 1 and 2. Down here, something from Assassin's Creed franchise, Assassin's Creed 3, Shire and the Wanderer, Boyfriend Dungeon, Felony, Back There, Tales of Arise, and Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Plushie toy from Mighty Number 9, and my favorite Rotitaper plushie from Indivisible. Those are pretty neat as well. Yeah, this is the Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Down here, Alter Ego, female and male versions, Indivisible Crosscode, System Shock from Night Dive and Stardew Valley. As you can see, I use plastic bags as protectors. Darksiders Genesis, the Nephilim edition. We Happy Few and signed collector's edition of Bard's Tale 4 from Kickstarter. Alone in the Dark, that's the new release. Back There, Diablo 3 and Reaper of Souls. Also Elex. Here Kingdom Come Deliverance and good old Stone Keep. Yeah, Valhalla Curse of Raven's Cry, and yeah, signed edition of Divinity Original Sin, collector's edition. Up here, collector's edition of Dishonored 2 with the mask. And Ring, I think there is also Ring. Final Fantasy 12 collector's edition and Ultimate Loot Chest of Borderlands 2. Those are big boxes as well. Yeah, let's take a look at the protectors now. Like I said, those were originally intended for comic books, but they work extremely well for PC big boxes as well. So I use them. I don't have shrink wrapped games, but I use those bags to protect them from harm. Here Dragonstar Varnir as well. Down here Spellforce 3 collector's edition and Soul Harvest edition. They look similar but are not the same. Diamond Loot Chest of Borderlands 3. Elex 2 collector's edition and Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning, also collector's edition. That's a reboot of the older Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. Pip-Boy edition of Fallout 4, special edition of Bioshock 2, and Omnitrend's Universe games 2 and 3. So second and third part of the trilogy. Survival edition of Fallout 3. It's also neat. Yeah, Pillars of Eternity, Deadfire, and Darksiders 2. Here is a Piggy plushie from the Deadfire. Also I have a soundtrack of Deadfire, Titan Quest Immortal Throne, and one of the nicest copies of Nox Arcades in the world, with all the bonuses, the earliest version, and also a bonus only I do have, some original art. Also the making of Nox Arcade book, and yeah, Book of Hints. Beautiful stuff. Knights and Bikes, that's also from Kickstarter. This is a very neat thing. Box art video game documentary about box art. That's a Blu-ray. That's not a game. Yeah, one of the nicest copies of Shroud of the Avatar in the world. Signed by Lord British and numbered 1 out of 200, having all bonuses and castle deeds, everything inside. The top tiers of crowdfunding. Power Armor edition of Fallout 76. That's just the mask. And Middle Earth Shadow of War Mithril edition. That's for Xbox as well as for PC. That's the Xbox Play Anywhere series. Yeah, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, you may see here. And here are some DVD cases that I also have, some new ones. Has Been Heroes, Monkey King, Hero is Back, Remnant from the Ashes, Outriders, Ravenmark. Up here is Gauntlet, new Gauntlet. It's also very nice. Dead Cells Brutal, and yeah. This one is also very nice. Paranoia, Happiness is Mandatory, that is very rare. This game disappeared, not just in physical form, but also in digital form. It was available through Epic Store, but it just vanished. You cannot buy it anymore anywhere. Nice story if you want to read about it. Then I have Dragon Master, Chaos Bane, Man-Eater, Empire of Sin, Evanical, Sacreds. And here, for example, enhanced editions of the old vintage titles Baldur's Gate and Icewind Dale. That's from Canadian Beamdog, who make the enhanced editions of those vintage titles. Legend of K, yeah. Area, Battle Slots, Chantelis. Okay. Shopper Keep and Reverie, Nice Tactics. Also Werewolf, The Apocalypse, Earthblood. Down here, a photo signed by Mr. John Romero for me, for Hermit in the Forest. Also a Cacodemon signed by him for me. And back there you can see a concept art, a map from Spiderweb Software, an original map from GeneForge, some posters that I also have. I will show you one that is actually from Underworld Ascendant. That was a crowdfunded thing that was supposed to be a sequel to Ultima Underworld games. However, it was not much successful. Anyway, they delivered such nice poster, for example. Here some masks from Borderlands franchise. Okay, here is the smallest box in my main collection. It's Insomnia the Ark from Kickstarter as well. I have smaller that is called Mini Prince, but it is not an RPG. Down here was here, Pier Solar, Bioshock Collector's Edition, and yeah, let's take a look at some jewel cases as well. Journey's End. Those are the games that were released only on jewel cases. Greed, Wandering Willows. Yeah, Prince of Destruction, pretty rare stuff as well. Those jewel cases don't have their own boxes. Knights Avenger. Welcome to Africa, also quite rare thing. It says it is an RPG, but I am not sure about it. It is very rare anyway. Legend of the Ancient Dragon, Wild West Adventure, and actually Ancient Evil. This game does have a big box English release, however, I cannot find it. It's hard to find. I saw it once on eBay, but that was a long time ago. There are German copies, but not English ones. Yeah, the Infernal Tome. Bandor. It's one of the dungeon crawlers. Morav's World, also a dungeon crawler, first person. And Sword Quest 2. Dracula in London. Melancholy Republic, this one is mostly visual novel from Kickstarter. The Mystery at Gravelholm 2, Journey to Planetus, also very nice. And Adventure Quest, a compilation of some rare stuff. Unemployment Quest, a Kickstarter RPG, very rare and nice thing as well. And nice name, right? Okay, let's take a look at the other side. Here, for example, Assassin's Creed franchise, Odyssey, Pantheon edition. Here, Witcher 1 and 2 collector's editions, and back there, Assassin's Creed Origins and Unity collector's editions. Yeah, collector's edition of Witcher 3. This is Darksiders 3, I think, Apocalyptic edition or whatever. Sekiro and Pathfinder Kingmaker collector's edition. That's from Kickstarter as well. Here's some vintage titles finally. Some from Origin, Ultima titles, Autoduel, 2480. Yeah, Ultima Underworlds as well. I have actually all Ultimas for IBM platform, but I don't have them sorted. Here, Microsoft Adventure, the very first game for IBM PC ever. That was released together commercially with IBM Computer. One of the nicest copies of Arcanum in the world, with all bonuses, all goodies, Lost Dungeon of Souls scenario and bonus discs, newspaper and so on. Wizards and Warriors Collector's Edition, Vampire the Masquerade Redemption Collector's Edition, Big Box Edition of Lionheart Legacy of the Crusader. That's Asia Pacific Edition, but fully in English. Little Big Adventures and Shattered Light. Yeah, Dungeon Master 2 as well. What's up there? Halls of the Dead, that's Fairy Tail Adventure 2, Cobra Mission and Knights of Zendar, Jacked Alliance games, all kinds of releases, Icarus and Cybermercs. Yeah, Wizardry Nemesis, King of Dragon Pass. Here are the Elder Scrolls series, Arena, Daggerfall and Morrowind, Battlespire, Redguard. So, one of the greatest RPG titles. Neverwinter Nights, those are my favorite. I love them all. And Fallout series, Fallout 1, 2 and Tactics. Big Box Edition of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, also quite neat. Yeah, Legacy of Kain, Bloodoman, Neuromancer, Strife, System Shock Games, Albion and Hired Guns. Down here again some Ultima titles, also Savage Empire, Dungeon Master. Special edition of Ultima 6, signed by Lord British, and with cassette and other goodies. Yeah, here's the Dungeon Master, Nox, Antara, Quest for Glory series, 4, 5. Here some Wizardry series, 1, 2, 7. Yeah, all are there. Dark Savant is the last. Knight of Diamonds, Legacy of Lindalgamin, Return to Verna. Yeah, Cosmic Forge and so on. Magic Candle series. Some, yes, Star Saga, Wizardry 8. Here some SSI thing, Veil of Darkness, Eye of the Beholder series, Dungeon Hack, Prophecy of the Shadow and Shadow Sorcerer. Also here some BioWare titles, Baldur's Gate, Gold Edition of Baldur's Gate and Icewind Dales. That's for Black Isle. Here's the Gold Edition that is also very neat. SSI titles. Okay, as you can see, I don't have the games sorted. I just have them as they fit. And back there is a second row. So what you see here is just one of the 2 rows that are in the closet. I also collect vinyl soundtracks of nicer games like Dark Souls, Trilogy, Stardew Valley, Dishonored, Divinity 2, Original Sin soundtrack. All very nice stuff. Vampire, Kingdom Come Deliverance again. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Yeah, System Shock that's from Night Dive, the new one. It was released by Limited Run Games. Shadowrun Hong Kong. And Little Big Adventure Symphonic Suite, that was also a Kickstarter project to make it so. Crosscode, that's for the new game. And Knights and Bikes, I already showed you Knights and Bikes box. Origami, vinyl release of Disco Elysium. There's also limited edition of, I think, 2000. Here probably Neptunia Virtual Stars, I think. Very nice. Now let's take a look at some strategy guides and hardcover art books, lore books, like for example here Dragon Age and Assassin's Creed franchise, also Dishonored. Those are really big and massive. They also have their own boxes, some. Yeah, here's the Assassin's Creed franchise, and here we get to The Elder Scrolls. Those are beautiful books, lore books that are also present in simplified form in games, in the games itself, in Skyrim. Yeah, in the Skyrim game. And if I open it like this, there are beautiful pictures, lot of lore, beautiful stories. The same goes for Diablo books, Book of Cain, Book of Turiel, Book of Adria. Those are also beautiful lore books with art, beautiful art from the game. Up here, Fallout strategy guides for Fallout 3, Fallout 4, Witcher, Mass Effect, and Deus Ex, Borderlands, also Kingdoms of Amalur, Pillars of Eternity, Sekiro, and Dark Souls franchise. Up here, some older books already from the older times. Yeah, Elder Scrolls strategy guide, Neverwinter Nights, Two Worlds 2, Dragon Age, and so on. Also, Guide to Japanese Role-Playing Games, that's a new. Also the CRPG book, that is an awesome compilation about history of role-playing games with pictures and all. But I have those in digital form, so I have them sealed. Yeah, point and click adventure guide and Cyberpunk 2077 guide and art book. Also the art of Fallout 4, Kingdom Come Deliverance art book, and some indie compilations like Profound Waste of Time. This is a very nice compilation about indie titles, indie art book. And the older Quest Busters and Quest for Clues series that cover the old games. Those are actually walkthroughs, Indie Design, Volume 1, 2, and 3. Also, the boxes of Hokwayo, that is a book about strangely shaped big boxes about this author. Yeah, he made, for example, this box, designed it, but many others as well, not just this one. Okay, up here there are standard strategy guides for old PC games: Diablo, Birthright, System Shock, Anachronox, Icewind Dales, Baldur's Gate, Fallouts. Yeah, Throne of Darkness, Dungeon Masters, Wizardry, Nox, as you can see. Return to Krondor, Might and Magic series, all kinds of Deus Ex, Age Statica, Lands of Lore, and here are some books about RPG in general: Dungeons and Desktops, RPG Companion, Sid Meier's Memoir, Replay and Retro Video Games, Indie Games, something about Ultimas, the Ultimate Collector's Guide and Companion Guide for collecting Ultima games. Those are very detailed in case you look for Ultima releases. Master Ultima, Through the Moon Gate, that's a new game, a new book from Andrea Contato. It was also kickstarted. Very nice. Up there some indie box releases already: Masquerada, Axiom Verge, Teslagrad, and Scapegoat 2. Yeah, Space Harrier, you may see there also. Here some Kickstarter releases. I love them, like Yooka-Laylee, Shovel Knight, Outward, and Lords of Shulima Collector's Edition, Pathfinder Kingmaker. Yeah, this is the nicest release of Yooka-Laylee in the Nintendo box. Hyperlight Drifter, Hot Tin Roof, and the Adventures of Elena Temple. Those are also very rare from indie box, but not desirable. However, they are rare, so I have them. Yeah, feudal alloy, massive chalice. Here are the games from Polyplay. Those are new but in retro style. The Curse of Rabenstein, The Queen's Footsteps, and Hibernated Displaces Death in 2 forms. This is the first release, and then there is the director's cut that is later that imitates the old Infocom titles. Big fan of Divinity Original Sin, so I have 4 Kickstarter copies and 1 collector's edition. Those are very similar, not the same, but very similar. Also, here are some dupes, some duplicates, Questron, Sentinel Wars. I have many. Heart, Nova, Wasteland. Those are all the games that I have twice or more times than once. Dragons of Flame, Treasures of the Savage Frontier, some Goldbox series, some Origin titles, again Auto Duel, and 2400 AD, Knights of Legend, Windwalker, Mebius. Those are together. Mebius is first part and Windwalker is the second part. Down here, Diablo, Magic Candle series. Big box of the Temple of Elemental Evil, Hex, Heresy of the Wizard, and Shadow Worlds, Lost in Time as well. So stuff from Minecraft, stuff from Surtech. Here stuff from Mindscape, so Captive and Legend and its sequel, The Worlds of Legend, Son of the Empire. All European releases. Then we have Dragon Wars, Baylor of the Evil Eye, Celtic Tales, Simon the Sorcerer, Blue Force, and Abandoned Places. A big fan of Darkspire, so I have 5 Darkspire copies, the original ones, not Slash. I don't have any Slash or any re-releases. This is the original first release times 5. Regalia and 2 copies of Darklands, together with Clue Book, Fury of the Furies, and Star Control 2. Okay, let's take a look at the other side. Here, Warriors of Legend, Dungeon Master again, Deluxe Edition of The Elder Scrolls Arena, The Red Crystal, King of the Dragon Pass, Lords of Doom. Here some extra Ultima titles, and Prophecy, The Planet's Edge. Up here, Pier Solar, Hollow Knight from Limited Run, Celeste, and here's some more. Escalon Book 2, that's also very rare, and Underworld Ascendant, a different cover. Actually, this is a standard edition, but you will most likely see the edition with green skeleton on it. This one is, although this is standard, is more rare. Let's take a look at it. So this is from Kickstarter as well. More rare variant of this release. Mega Traveler here. Some copies of Arcanum, Total Annihilation, Shivers, Tex Murphy Games, and Civilization Colonization, Civnet. Up here, Chaos Island and Realms of Arcania. Here's a t-shirt that says Ich bin ein Gamer. Very nice, neat stuff. Okay, what's here? Some religious Christian titles, Saints of Virtue, Journey to the Promised Land, and Bible Adventures, Holy Land Mosaic. I have more. I have Exodus also, and more Christian titles. I quite like them. Disciples of Steel, Dragonfires, Torchlight, and here are some sex games, House Party, and Strip Fighter, and so on. Similar stuff. It's also very interesting, I think. Lord of the Rings, Dangerous Dave, and Athena, that's Chex Quest, The Dark Eye, that is an adventure, Hardcore Gamer, and Game Guru. Up here, Halls of the Dead again, King's Quest, some Might and Magic series, Wizards and Warriors, and Alien Logic. Here, Bard's Tale 4, Reliquary, XCOM, Terror from the Deep, Retribution, and Lone Wolf. Here, Dune 2, that's interesting re-release or unofficial fan project. Up there, some limited run games like Gish, Sam Max, and Star Wars games. And here some more Tsayok, Lost in LA, and so on. Return to Krondor again. Devil Inside. Okay, now take a look what I found. This is called the Slow Worm or the Death Adder, but don't mistake it with Death Adder from Golden Axe series. As you can see, I already reached the forest now, and let's take a look at it. This is the forest where I make my unboxing videos. I don't go too far, of course, since carrying the camera and the stand, also the boxes, isn't that easy. It weighs something, so I go only on the edge of the forest, very close to where I live. And as you can see, the forest is mostly coniferous. It is made mostly of spruces and pines. However, the forest is cultural. It is not. Didn't look like this originally. Originally, this forest was made of oaks and beeches mostly. However, spruces yield more wood. They grow faster and have other advantages. So it was decided to cut the trees that were originally here and made it a coniferous wood. It is actually also a former military area and former artillery shooting range, or the military area was heavily restricted or reduced in behalf of protected landscape area. So now it's opened for the public. In here, although not far away, there is still military area, so it is quite split in two. Anyway, there is still unexploded ammunition here, and so it is not that safe. The authorities or the officials don't have much interest to promote it, to actually make it a tourist attraction, since there are still cases where people get blown up by unexploded ammunition. So it's not a popular tourist attraction, although the forest itself is very big. It has a lot of square kilometers, so you can go pretty far. I will go now into the older forest, into the older part that you didn't see in my videos, where I will show you how it looked like originally. And so you can see that the forest is actually very varied. It doesn't look like this everywhere, just at the edge, or here where I make my unboxing videos. Alright, so going through the grass. This is the forest as you know it from my videos, right? Okay, and now I made it to the older part of the forest. As you may see, the scenery has changed a lot. The woods are now made of oaks and beeches, like I said. And this is how the forest originally looked like. It is absolutely different, and I will be following the green tourist sign, tourist marker, or hiking marker. There are 4 different tourist hiking marks around here. Apart from green, there is also blue, yellow, and red, each having their own meaning. Like the red is some long way, while the green is the local one, I think only shorter. However, I will follow now the green tourist marker and will soon swap to red one. So I will follow first the green, then the red, and the red will get me actually very far and deep into the forest. And deeper into the forest, it even looks again absolutely different than here, than on the edge. So the center of the forest is something that will be quite a surprise, I think. Okay, like I said, this is a former artillery shooting range when I was small. Here is actually the green meets the red marker, so now they go together a bit. And when I was small, it was officially prohibited to enter this forest, for there were artillery shootings all the time. However, in case you didn't hear anything, the locals didn't care and went into the forest anyway, so it was of course on your own risk to enter it. However, in case you didn't hear any explosions, you were quite safe to go inside, and mostly nothing happened. So yeah, and in the place where I'm going now, the former artillery shooting range is of course still quite dangerous, so there are not that many people, but some go there. It's very nice in there. It's a very nice landscape, and it is absolutely different than what you see here or in the previous shots. Okay, I will first take the part up here. Yeah, and I arrived to some outlook that are quite common here, so we can see some panoramic view into the landscape, down into the valley. Yeah, there is a rock here. I'm standing on top of rock, and a big oak that grows right from the rock. So a big fall down here, and a beautiful view into the valley. As you can see, the forest is really big. It stretches far and wide. Yeah, this is the old part of the forest still. Okay, so there are oaks and beeches mostly around. Okay, now I went up, now going up the hill. The area is actually hilly. It's not totally mountainous. The highest point has some 900 meters, but it is nicely up and down. So valleys and hills, very nice. Not that high, but nice. And now I arrived at a higher point, and as you can see, the scenery, the landscape changed again. There are no big trees anymore, but mostly bushes and especially blueberries. There's a lot of blueberries here. The blueberry season will be sometime in July, so in 2 months or so. And here you can come and stay and just eat blueberries all day, and you will be okay. You don't have to buy any food anywhere if you are okay with just eating blueberries all day. But it's very nice. I'm looking forward to it. And now I am going towards the artillery shooting range, and there you will see again absolutely different landscape than here, because the forest is different. Everywhere I step it is different. It's not the same. Okay, very nice vegetation. Okay, and this is it, guys. This is the very center of the forest. And as you can see, it is not a forest at all. It is a moor full of heather plants that are already starting to bloom, although not in full blossom yet. And this area was originally a forest like anywhere else, but it was solely created by bombings, by explosions. 10 years prior to the Second World War, it was decided to make and establish an artillery shooting range here. So this area was razed to the ground, and during the decades of bombing of this area, it became such a plain. Of course, this is the most dangerous area of the forest, since in case you find unexploded ammunition anywhere, then those are the missiles that miss their target. However, here, this is the place where the missiles were supposed to land and where they exploded. So also you do not see on your feet in all those heather plants, because they of course prevent the view on the ground. So you should only walk on the big roads here. There are big roads, and not walk into the heather itself, into the moor, because it is extremely dangerous. And now the question is, since the military area was restricted and it is now a protected landscape area, this one, the question is if Mother Nature will manage to actually claim the land back, and if it will become forest again, and how long will it take, you may guess, if this happens or not, and how long will it take. Well, the answer is it will actually happen very soon, in case people won't protect it from happening, and people actually want to protect it, want to stop it, or want it not to happen. Since, believe it or not, the bombings created an endemic ecosystem with rare plants and insects and maybe even higher animals that live here. So, although this was artificially created, it's now artificially upheld by some ecologists. They make fires here, big fires, and try to uproot the vegetation, the trees and so on, so the moor stays here, and so the rare plants and rare insects, all kinds of animals, may stay here, and the endemic ecosystem will live on. So we will see if this will happen or not, if the moor will, of the moor, or Mother Nature will win this fight. Of course, since there were constant bombings, then it was easier, but now when people have to make artificial fires, it's harder to maintain it than before. Okay. And what will happen now is that I am going to show you some pre-war fortifications, some pre-war bunkers that were built here in the artillery shooting range. So for the next part I am going towards those bunkers. They are also part of this artillery shooting range, so they are also incorporated in the moor, but they are a bit farther away. So I will continue on my way and will tell you their meaning, or why they were built here. Okay, so now we see the bunker, one of the bunkers. It's actually a heavy fortification that was intended to be used at the borders, to be built at the borders to form a line. There were heavy fortifications, and in between those some light fortifications. Those are actually buildings very sturdy, of iron and concrete. Their purpose was of course to hold the enemy army. However, we are not at the borders here. We are inland, and those bunkers you will see now are test bunkers that were part of the artillery shooting range. Okay, so their sole purpose was that they should be tested, that they should be shot at with artillery, with weapons, machine guns and so on. But also with heavy artillery. Okay, so rockets and so on were sent against them to see if they will hold against those weapons, if they will survive such an attack. But as you can see, they survived quite good, even to today's time, and that is some 80 years since they were built. Now I am on top of one of the bunker that we see in the previous shot, and here you can see some beautiful panoramic view again, and we are in the artillery shooting range again. However, as you can see, it is much more there are much more trees than in the previous case, so here they don't make the fires, and Mother Nature claims the more back very quickly. And as you can see, the trees are quite high already, and it will soon become a forest probably again, this part of the land. Yeah, this is some smaller fortification, and here is the biggest one, but all of those are heavy. All of those are very, very sturdy. The heaviest type of bunkers, the heaviest and thickest type of iron and concrete iron. So the test ones were the heavy ones. I don't think there are light ones here, just the heavy. And up on top of this big bunker, there is place for the machine gun, where they could shoot in all directions. Yeah, I cannot sadly go inside. It is protected by concrete slab, as you can see. However, it was intended for many people. I think this big one was for 10 or 15 men, and they were able, they had food for like and water for like 14 days, and some gas and air, I don't know, whatever they had. So they could hold for like 14 days in there without any help from the outside, and they could shoot in all directions from this machine gun turret. Okay, so you may again see the beauty of the surrounding landscape, and you may see that the forest is really vast and big. Okay, last view on the forest. And on the moor as well, on the shooting range. Okay, and that's it, guys. I showed you some of my collection. I showed you the forest where I make my unboxing videos, and the only question that remains is what's next. And the next thing is that this project, Hermit in the Forest YouTube channel, is coming to an end. The main reason is I don't want to use YouTube anymore. I already completely ignore the official mainstream media, and I want to use the major social platforms as little as possible, eventually leaving them for good as well. Back then, 10 years ago, using YouTube was the only feasible option for me, for the project I had in mind, for the vision I had, and it offered great opportunity how to realize what I wanted to do. However, times change, and today I have other options, so in case I will in some form continue in some project in regards of physical releases of PC games, it will be through my own website, where I will have full control over the content and the way it is presented. The decision wasn't that hard to make, since I am not financially interested in my YouTube channel in any way. I never got a single coin from making my videos. I was never a YouTube partner, and my videos were never monetized. And even if they were, I wouldn't get rich, since all those videos together have in all those 10 years have something over 500,000 views. So in case you see some advertisements in my videos, that is a new thing that happened like 2 years ago, when they started to put advertisements in videos, no matter if creator wants it or not. The other reason is that I don't think the channel is as much needed as it was before, as it was those 10 years ago. When I started, there were just two other sources, like Moby Games, that is a database that is a great database, however not too detailed in regards of physical releases and various physical releases, and the second was the Museum of Computer Adventure Game History. That is great source and very detailed. However, it doesn't cover that many titles or all titles, and not genres outside of adventure and role-playing mostly, so it was very needed. However, today there are many other sources where people can find information about physical releases of PC games, and collecting of PC games gained much popularity, although it's not as big as, for example, collecting console games, but it is popular, I think. Anyway, so let's make a copyright notice now. I want to proclaim that all my videos on this channel, on Hermit in the Forest channel, YouTube, are freeware. I only have two conditions or pleas. Those are that you should not present those videos or their parts as your own. And the second condition is that you should keep and include the Hermit in the Forest brand. And under these two conditions, you may share, download, upload, I don't know, copy, spread, and do anything with those videos. Use them in your own videos, in your own websites as you want. I am not some fan of copyright. I am all for free sharing of information, and I will be really happy if the legacy lives on, and if someone will find the videos useful even in the future, and if someone will find some interesting information in the future. So you may use them as you like. And the last thing I want to say is thank you. I want to thank to all my subscribers, all my loyal fans, if there were any fans, but I hope they were. So to all my loyal fans, to all people who were watching my videos in all those 10 years, and who supported me with their encouraging comments, since that motivated me to continue on and to make more videos. I also want to thank everyone who found information that educated them, or information that they found useful and interesting, since that was my first intent, to give information, to educate, to show the beauty of big boxes. So thank you everyone, and thanks for watching, and goodbye. See you all.